Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today I am here talking about icebergs. That's right, let's talk about icebergs. The iceberg format is basically this format where you take this image right here, essentially this is all you take, and you fill in some information here, and then the deeper down you go, the more crazy the information is, the more scary the information goes, or the more conspiracy type the information goes, until you get all the way on the bottom where the most insane stuff lies. This format works for any kind of fandom that you're in, including Ponytown, that's right. So today we're going to be going over a Ponytown Iceberg. This is something I've been meaning to do for a while because I found this iceberg right here quite a while ago, and I've been meaning to make a video on it for a long time, but I keep forgetting about it. And then very recently, Quang DM'd me saying that they're working on their own iceberg, and I was like, oh crap, I meant to make a video on that other one that I found. And I showed them this one, and they made this one, which has tons and tons of stuff on it. Go over this one right here, and if we have some time, maybe we'll kind of take some glances at the other one. But that is what we're going to be doing today. So without further ado, let's start at the very top of the iceberg. That's right, the top of the iceberg is right here. This is the easy stuff. This is the stuff that's like, yeah, that's a very surface level thing. No one's going to be debating on this or not, but for some reason there is at the same time on this top one. So the icon was originally a green apple. Ooh, oh my gosh, that's creepy, that's freaky, that's weird. Why was it originally a green apple? It's red now. And then of course it says Twitter pony was removed for legal reasons. I don't know exactly the story behind this, but the Twitter pony is sometimes still there. They just remove it every now and again because they don't want to clutter it up, and their Twitter is still linked there. So I don't understand the whole Twitter point of that part, but it also apparently has removed dragon fruit. I don't know if that's true either, so I just gonna assume that's a conspiracy theory as well. But then we move into the next part of the iceberg with unused PG-13 server. The PG-13 server is something that has come up many times in Ponytown's history, especially in more recent memory. It comes up all the time. People are like, oh, well, they should just add a third PG-13 server. That'll help a lot with, you know, kids going on the 18+ server and stuff like that. PG-13 server is something that comes up quite a bit, and there has been discussion in the past on whether or not it should be included. I think one of the devs at one point said that they were going to make it, but they have so much to do and they just haven't gotten around to do it yet. I don't know the exact story of the PG-13 server, so don't quote me on that, but the changed spawn location, this is actually true. I'm pretty sure this one's actually true, because I'm pretty sure that when I started Ponytown, the spawn was in a totally different place than what it is now, so that's kind of an interesting one there. The earless pony. I'm not sure what this is referring to. Maybe this is something where it's like, oh, the pony did this weird thing where it didn't have ears, and there was some random bug that happened at some point in its past, and they ended up having to fix it or something. I don't know. That's a weird thing. But then you have faceless default, and that's what the image is here that they're using for the preview. The faceless default is actually something that I kind of remember. I feel like this has happened multiple times in the past where the character editor glitches and it doesn't show you the face, but this could also just be referring to the fact that it's actually very, very easy to just make faceless characters in the game, and default of course is default, so faceless default. And then of course the ERP forest, I find it funny that they called it that instead of fuck forest, but I guess that is the more PG way of saying that, huh? They also mentioned corrupted pony files, which I'm not sure what that means, but take of that what you will. But let's move on to the next layer. This layer right here, things should get very, very conspiracy-like. We're kind of deep in this iceberg now. We're deep in the Ponytown fandom. What's going on now? Well, apparently Ponytown was hacked by anti-bronies. I don't think that ever happened. If it did, I was never told about it. If it did, then I never heard about it or was told about it. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe that was a conspiracy. Maybe that's just all that is. But the 4-leaf clover spawning in the Party Island. I think this did happen at one point when Party Island was originally introduced, and then it was patched immediately or discovered and fixed or something like that. Or maybe it's referring to the fact that when we got the Party Island, there was, you know, the 3-leaf clovers there, and people thought that they could spawn there, and they were like, it's gonna spawn here. If I wait here long enough, it's gonna spawn. That's what I feel like that's referring to. It mentioned skeleton ponies. I don't know what that means. One of the devs was a former Hasbro employee. I'm 99.99% sure that is false. I'm pretty sure that's not true. That is 100% a conspiracy theory. And then we have the PG server was doomed to toxicity from the start. I mean, that's more of an opinion if you ask me, but then we get even deeper in the iceberg. We're almost beyond the iceberg at this point. We're like very, very deep in the iceberg. And we, of course, have the conspiracies such as Durgantown originally had good intentions, which if you know anything about the situation, then they kind of didn't. Like, it really, like, looking at everything, especially now with more retrospective and everything, it really doesn't seem like they ever originally had good intentions. It looks like they originally, from the very start, intended to take as much as they could from the Ponytown devs and make as much profit as possible from their work, and then, you know, tweak some of their own things and add their own work in there, obviously. But, you know, it seems like from the start they had bad intentions, so that's definitely a high-level conspiracy theory there. But then we have the PT version 1.0.0, view at your own risk. And I find this one funny because this image right here is obviously of the very doodly Ponytown that happened a long time ago. It was the original Ponytown, and it's referring it to as version 1.0, which is not the case. It is actually version 0.0.1, if I'm not mistaken, that has this weird doodly thing, but that's a whole other story. And let's move on. Ponytown was rated by Quackity HQ. That actually happened. I covered it on the Ponytown News channel and everything like that, so that was a thing. npc.json scrapped due to internet limitations. I don't know what that's about. I'm assuming that is just another conspiracy theory. I had the game files at one point a long time ago when they were public and were on the website. I had them a long time ago, and I went through them every now and again. I found some interesting stuff, but I never found npc.json, so I don't know what that's referring to. But then we have Ponytown in 2015. Do not research. What comes up if I type that in, actually? Literally nothing comes up. Nothing that like would be really bad. Like, don't research this. Nothing bad comes up at all, so research at your own risk, I guess. I am kind of nervous to scroll down any further, so we're gonna stop here and go back to the iceberg. So that one's kind of funny. The scrapped humping animation. Okay, look. This was never a thing that was ever gonna be in the game, but there is a humping animation out there. If you want to find it, it's really easy to find. Honestly, you could probably just type in Ponytown animations and it will probably come up in the Google search images. It is very not safe for work, and obviously that's why it was never intended to be in the game, but it's something that someone outside of the game created, and I guess they spread a rumor that it was a scrapped animation or something like that. But that animation does exist. Don't ask how I know this. Well, you can ask. The reason why I know it exists is because I was searching for Ponytown images and stuff like that, and it ended up coming up, so I saw it, and it was like, oh shit, that's gross, and then scrolled on past it. But it exists. It was never part of the game, though, and it was never, ever, like, supported by the game. So take of that information what you will, and let's move on to the deepest part of the iceberg before we go into the depths. We have, of course, Hasbro tried to sue the Ponytown devs. 99.9% sure that never happened. Ponytown was a cover-up for fighting as magic. That 100% never happened. Custom servers only happened due to a leak of the source code. That is not true either. The reason why custom servers happened is because the original creator, Aggie, I believe, before they left, if I'm not mistaken, there was some kind of deal where the Ponytown devs that have it right now, the Ponytown devs that own the game right now, were given all the game files, were given everything, and they own the game now, right? And then Aggie, who gave it to them, was like, just make sure custom servers happen and you can have these. If I'm not mistaken, that was basically the deal. And custom servers happened for a while, but it got to the point where custom servers just don't make sense to have anymore, so they were eventually removed and stuff. If I'm not mistaken, that was what the deal was. I could be wrong about that because I don't know the exact details, because I don't know Aggie. I've never met them. I've never even seen them on Discord or Ponytown or anything like that, and I've never heard any stories about them other than like there was deals made and Aggie ended up giving it to the people that currently own the game. So that's all I know from that little information there, but that's a very conspiracy thing there. So ponytown.org. I'm gonna look that up, actually. Oh shit, that's a thing. Ponytown.org brings you here. Here be dragons planting face palms. Oh shit, that is actually really cool. I like that. That is a neat little thing. Ponytown.org brings you here, which is funny. And then Ponytown story mode. I don't know anything about this. I'm just assuming that this is like one of the conspiracy theories on this board where they're like, this is a conspiracy theory. There was originally a story mode, but there never was a story mode, and I don't think there ever will be. But now we move on to the very, very, very bottom of this little conspiracy iceberg. It is beyond the iceberg. We are now in the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean where all the crazy, spooky things happen. And the first thing on this list in this area is Ponytown was originally conceptualized before My Little Pony Friendship is Magic first aired. This is obviously false as well. And then we have Albert. Albert's this weird cult thing of people that are very... inappropriate, I guess. A group of people that are very inappropriate, and they all use this character called Albert, and it's like a little cult almost. It's a weird thing, and I almost made videos about it in the past, but then I was like, I don't care about it. I almost never see any Alberts anyway, so I don't know what people talk about when they mention them. But anyway, people's bright OCs causing seizures, this is an actual thing. This happens. That's why you don't need to be using a character that is just a bunch of random colors mixed, matched, and together and stuff like that. I have actually made videos in the past being like, you know, look, there's people creating quote-unquote eye-bleeding OCs intentionally to cause seizures, you know, shaking all about, running around, and intentionally going to people that are prone to those things and going after them. So that's a thing that happens, and it's a real shame that it does. But anyway, Ponytown will never be fully constructed is the next thing on here. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We are in version 0.84.9. We are getting closer and closer to a version 1.0 release, but who knows what versions, 1.0 is going to look like. Is that going to be the full completed game? Is it going to be fully constructed at that point? Are we going to have a full town with mini games and everything? Who knows? But it seems like it's a far way off, but also really close at the same time. And it's a wonderful time to be in Ponytown because of that reason. So maybe I'll be fully constructed someday. Who knows? But anyway, the last thing on this very big conspiracy thing here is all the players on Ponytown are just generated AI players. I find that so hilarious. That is my favorite one on that whole thing, and it's all the way on the bottom. That's very wonderful. But that pretty much does it for the video. I just wanted to kind of go over this iceberg and kind of talk about it and joke around with it. It seems that we definitely don't have time to go over this other one, but I can glance at it real quick if you want. With Quang's thing here, it seems like they mostly focused on actual events that happened. There doesn't seem to be too many conspiracy things on here, if any at all. Like the Ponytown wiki vandalized when that happened. I mean, that happens all the time anyway. But they have stuff like the party island wasn't customizable, which is for some reason really deep in the conspiracy iceberg thing, which is true. That's true. That's a real thing. It wasn't customizable originally. And then they have stuff like the map grew in size. Halloween graveyard, that's a thing that's in the game. The Annan suicide scandal, that actually happened. I've made a video on it in the past. I actually had to unlist it because of situations around it. Basically, all of these things actually happened in this one, and take of that what you will. But we're done for the video for today. Maybe we can go over this one in the future and kind of talk about it more. But for now, that is going to do it for the video. I do hope that you all enjoyed. If you've made your own Ponytown Iceberg or anything like that, let me know in the comments below, and please share it to me on Twitter at DannyBallSub, and I may make another video about your iceberg or something like that, because it is kind of fun to kind of just sit down and look at these icebergs, because you get to see all kinds of weird conspiracy theories that people are thinking of and talking about in Ponytown, as well as you get to see some historical things or things that actually happened or things that you might not know about Ponytown, and it's a very fun little thing to go over. Icebergs are so much fun, and maybe I'll make one day, but I don't really know if I ever will. But for now, that's gonna do it for the video. I've said this multiple times, but this time I really mean it. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please do feel free to like, subscribe, share, and do all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do those wonderful things, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.